So I'm going to walk you through the time and topic report and the rest of the requirements for Module 5. And to get into the time on topic report, we are going to pick our class, which is going to be, we'll go with beginning algebra again. And we'll come here to our reports, time and topic. And this is going to be the most in-depth and probably best and most useful report to show to instructors while we're demoing, just because of the fact that we can drill in and we can see at a very specific level what students are doing, how many they're answering incorrectly and correctly, what those answers are. We can actually drill in very specifically to those types of things. So this is probably the most valuable and beneficial report to bring up and show instructors while we're demoing. So when we come into the time and topic report, here this graph actually shows the class total in terms of the time that's spent and when it's spent during each week. And then as we scroll down here, we can actually drill into the individual students. Total time spent in ALEKS in hours, the last time they logged in, total time for the date range is selected, and then here we get a snapshot of the week. Looks like it's set from November 22nd to 29th, the last week. And this will actually show us the minutes that the student spent in that day in ALEKS, and then the fraction, if you will, below here, 2-3, actually indicates that the student opened up 3 topics and learned 2 of those 3 topics. So we can actually see how many topics that student learned versus what they opened up. And this student actually is a really good student because, as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he actually learned every single topic that he opened up, which is great. Okay. And then from here, we can actually go in and drill into more specific data for the student. So let's go into Kevin here. We're going to open up his time and topic report. And let's set this for the month of September. Okay, and this is actually a great visual that we get for the student. As we can see here, it's broken out into the weeks in September. And this chart, the gray area, is going to show the total amount of time that the student spent in ALEKS. All right, 44 minutes and 56 seconds. And then the color coordination here indicates the blue shows what topics were learned, and then anything where orange pops up is actually indicating topics that were attempted but were not learned. So this is a pretty strong student because, as you can see, for most of these days that he's in ALEKS, he learned all of the topics that he attempted. So he stayed in and he completed it, and he was able to finish by learning all the topics he opened. Where sometimes you'll see students come in, work, and there'll be topics that they actually attempted but did not learn. So this is a pretty solid student here. Now, the cool thing about this is that as instructors, we can drill in here to learn more about what's going on with the students on a more granular level. So let's look at this day 9/15/2017. He spent 20 minutes in ALEKS. We're going to click open it. Okay. So what this is showing is solving a value mixture problem using a systems of linear equations. So this student came in at 11:41 in the morning and spent 6 minutes and 23 seconds working on this topic. And these X marks mean that the problem was incorrect. And so every X mark is a problem the student was given that he did not answer correctly. Now, as an instructor, the nice thing here is we can drill into this to see, if we want to, exactly how much time he spent on the problem. Okay, and then if we want to see the problem, we click on the magnifying glass. Now we actually bring this up, and it will show us the answer that the student gave, whether it was incorrect. And so we can really fine tune and dig in as much or as specific as we want to know exactly what the student was doing, how much time they were spending, what their thought process were, and what the wrong answer was that they inputted. Okay. So as we discussed before, the whole point and purpose of the way ALEKS is set up is we want to make sure that students really understand and master these topics. And so the way that the program shows that students have done this is by having them answer 3 consecutive problems correctly in a row. This isn't a very good example, but let's see if I can find maybe a different week here where some more info we can look at. Let's try this day, Monday. 41 minutes, 52 seconds. He attempted 3 topics, didn't learn them, and then learned 2 topics. So let's drill in here. Okay, so this is a better example. So student came in, 8 o'clock, simplify a ratio of univariate monomals. First question was wrong. Then he got the next 2 questions correct. But his third question, he got wrong. Fourth question, he got correct. But then 3 more times, he got the answer incorrect, at which point it popped up the explanation page for the student. Now, the reason this is relevant and important is because with a lot of the other homework assignment platforms that are out there, a student could open up the assignment and answer the question correctly, and it will move them through it onto something different or show that they actually understand that particular problem. But as we can see here, the student was actually able to answer 3 questions correctly, but if we look at the total time he spent in this particular topic and the number of questions he answered, 6 times he was wrong and 3 times he was correct. So all that this proves and shows us is that the student understands the concepts to some point, but not to the level that we want him to understand it, because he was able to get it right 3 times, but on 6 other occasions he got it wrong. And that's, again, the whole purpose of assigning ALEKS in the way that the system is built, is we want to show that a student can get 3 consecutive problems correct in order to prove that they've actually understood and learned the topic well enough. Because once or even twice doesn't necessarily show that they've learned it. Okay, so he came in here, he got 3 wrong, it brought up an explanation page. He tried one more time, he got it wrong, and 2 things probably could have happened here. Either he decided to back out and go to a different topic to learn, or the system actually could have kicked him out or moved him out of this particular topic and taken him to something different, seeing that he wasn't getting it, he was getting incorrect, and that it was time to go somewhere else and that he could come back to this later. Okay? So this report here is very helpful in the sense that we can drill in, we can see what students are doing, we can see how much time they're spending, what they're getting right, what they're getting wrong, what their activity is, and really track down to a very specific level how the student is interacting with the content for the course. So this is the time on topic report with the learning sequence. So next we need to copy a class and update the due dates for the deadlines. So we are going to go back home. Actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to log back in my account. Okay, let's see. Okay. And my class list. We're going to go in here to Intermediate Algebra Sample Class. And from here, we're going to duplicate the class. I'm going to either copy this to myself or to another instructor. We're going to do it to myself. Today, we're going to make this sample intermediate algebra number 2 duplicate. Section 2. Start date is going to be January for the spring semester. May 31st. And then we're going to leave all of the default settings and stamp it so everything duplicates over exactly as is. And then from here, I would need to go in and update the due date for the assignments, which would start in January. Okay. Let's check and so forth. So I can actually go in here and change respectively the due dates accordingly. Save. Okay, and then the other thing I would need to do is to update the custom objectives with end dates, because those are set from when the previous section was set up. Nice thing is, after I duplicate it, there's this nice little caution or hazard icon here that tells me, hey, I need to go in and fix this. So I can come in and edit this. And then from here, now I can update when these are going to need to be changed to. And they automatically will change once you change the first one. But doing this changes the objective end dates, which we need to do. And that's how we go in and copy our course and then update the due dates accordingly. And the last thing we're going to touch on is the student view resources and a little bit about 360 and why that's a benefit to students. So in order to get to the student view, we can come under here under class administration, and we can click on student view, and then this will allow the instructor to actually go in, explore everything from the student-facing side of ALEKS rather than from the instructor side, and that's how they'll enter the student view. And likewise, they can also access their resources from the Class Tools menu. And what's unique about ALEKS here is that they can actually add additional resources if they'd like to, whether it's documents, what have you. Instructors can add their own resources to the course, and they can tag it to specific locations within ALEKS if they want to do that. The resources that come with ALEKS 360 include author-specific videos and additional resources. So the benefit to having ALEKS offered in a package with 360 is that students are going to have access to the ebook along with author-specific videos and additional resources students can go into and look for when they're working. So ALEKS 360, student view, resources, that's where they'll come. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to cover here. So that is the end of Module 5.